Hey everybody, Garrison here, back with another deck. Uh, Something that I guess a bunch of people were really happy with. Seen some deck lists pop up since War of the Spark came out. A little bit before too, people were kind of thinking about what to play with and what could be good. And people saw that Niv-Mizzet Reborn, so 5 color card, has always been kind of fun to play with. So, kind of went trolling around. Saw a deck list that Frank Lepore posted prior to War of the Spark coming out. Hasn't really been played with. And anybody who watches here has probably noticed that I really like Alian Trazi. Probably one of the better on-the-spot deck builders out there. So, able to just come up with some things. Really likes throwing some specific cards into all of his decks and just kind of running some different brews there. I think they are extremely fun. So today we're actually playing our Reborn Dargan here. We're playing Niv-Mizzet Reborn in his shell, and I believe the 60 is actually just his straight 60. It might be 74 if you notice that there's not 15 cards in my sideboard, because I don't own to Enter the God Eternals apparently with all the War of the Spark that I've opened online. So just real quick, go over everything. So 1D Spark, 2 Thought Erasure. This is really good. 1 Angrath's Rampage, 1 Justice Strike, and 2 Hydroid Crisis. Crisis is really good with some of the other cards. Everything in here is pretty much just removal, help you get to the late game. Except for the Hydroid Crisis that gives you a body when you need it, but also turns on some other cards in the deck. Night of Autumn, just an all-around multifunctional card with a body, so kind of hard to find in Standard right now. 2 Teferi, Time Raveler. This thing is great, absolutely amazing with this deck because it does play some sorceries, not a whole ton, but the fact that they can't interact with what you're trying to do makes things way better. 1 Mortify, 1 Oath of Kaya just helps to protect the Planeswalker package. It also is another piece of removal and a little bit of life gain. So 1 Deafening Clarion and 4 Chromatic Lantern. So the lanterns help you to ramp, and everybody who knows just watching me play decks sees that I like big mana decks. So anything to help me ramp really helps. 1 Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. Seems like a very awkward card to play, especially in this deck because it's not multicolored. And it is triple blue. Turns out triple blue doesn't matter when you have Chromatic Lanterns and Firemind Vessels and just a whole bunch of different types of lands or different colored lands. So I have one with playing this deck with the Jace ability. I actually +2 the Jace with 2 cards in my library, and then won the game. So it's kind of fun. 1 Kaya's Wrath, 1 Ral's Outburst, 1 Vraska Golgari Queen. Another just piece of removal. She doesn't really tend to sack much. At least I have not sacked much. Just basically used her as removal. 2 Tamio, which you're finding out this deck is really great. Playing it on, I do have dual screen, so being able to have my deck list up, remember what I need to be able to find is super helpful. If I already have the Niv in my hand. So 2 Firemind Vessel, just helping you fix get the colors you have in case you do not hit a Chromatic Lantern. Of course, 4 Niv-Mizzet Reborn, 1 Time Wipe, 1 Enter the God Eternals, 1 Ral Izzet Viceroy, 1 Tome of the Guild Pact, 1 Warrant Warden, and 1 Casualties of War, which is amazing, might I add. I have not used 6 mana destroy 5 things, but I have done 6 mana destroy 4 things, and my opponent was not very happy about that. So it's a mishmash of lands. 1 Hollow Fountain, 2 Gather Shrine, 4 Watery Grave, 4 Steam Vents, 1 Blood Crypt, 3 Overgrown Tomb, 1 Sacred Foundry, 3 Temple Garden, 4 Breeding Pool, and 2 Gateway Plaza. It does seem a little awkward sometimes when you play the Plaza and you really need, some untapped land. But every other land comes into play untapped if you need it to, so we are playing all shots and no basics. So, but the fact that it does add any mana, or any color of mana, is really helpful, so sometimes you do get awkwardly stuck at 4 and you have a Niv in your hand and you can't do anything with it. So, the sideboard, It's 2 Dovin's Veto, 1 Dovin's Acuity, 1 Teferi Time Raveler, just in case you need to have the third one for some reason. Another Oath of Kaya, 4 Thief of Sanity, 2 Unmoored Ego, 1 Bedevil, 1 Deafening Clarion, 1 Tulsamir, Friend to Wolves, and like I said, his original list was playing a second Enter the Gaia Journals. I've been playing this in best of 1, just because it can take quite a long time to play this deck. Just game 1. There is some situations where you do just get down to 2 or 3 life and then can turn the game around and lock the game out, and they don't have any way to come back and kill you. But like I said, it can take some time to do that. So that being said, actually just I can't play it in ranked. I found out I tried to play 2-3 games, just got completely owned by some super aggro decks. So we're just gonna go ahead and play this. The game is super fun, or the deck is super fun, I should say. There's a lot of times where Niv-Mizzet, he seems to draw you 3 cards to 4 cards on average. I believe I have drawn a full 5, which was pretty good. So 5 out of the 10. I did have one time where I only drew 1 card. It was very awkward because it was like a bunch of Chromatic Lanterns and a bunch of like a Jace. So this the land makes it kind of awkward. You do have to try to look to see what you can cast. Can't cast Justice Strike here, but we do have a Chromatic Lantern. We can't cast the Night of Autumn without the Chromatic Lantern. So we're going to go ahead and keep this because we are in the play. And just try to get to that Chromatic Lantern. One thing to think about is that, turns 1 and 2, depending on what you're doing, your opponent doesn't have any idea of what you're playing. So sometimes trying to fake them out a little bit is better than playing your lands on curve. If your plan is just to play a Chromatic Lantern, I have had Watery Graves and Guileless Shrines in my hand and just played out like I am Esper control. It does seem kind of awkward sometimes for some people. So we're gonna go ahead and pay 2. Hopefully this resolves. It might not. Yeah, that's fine. So it gets Ace Hope Pierce to their hands. A mono blue. Haven't seen a lot of mono blue lately, so it does seem kind of odd that it's out and about and around, but hey, it is what it is. So this will... Ooh. We can actually... Yep. We'll go ahead and pay 2. We're just going to go ahead and destroy the Tempest Gen. So it's unanswered, so I can't see that Vraska doesn't do a whole lot for us. So we'll see what they have to come back with. Hopefully they don't have another Tempest Gen to run back at. That would really kind of stink. Because they'd be able to protect it against the Justice Strike, but that's what it is. And they're just going, so we're going to go ahead and plus. We're not sacrificing anything, obviously. We do need that. We're going to go ahead, I think, yeah, we're going to try to jam the Knight. I want to put 2 counters on it. I think the 4/3 is way better here than the 4 life. If they're going to kill us, they're going to kill us fast anyway, so that's fine. They take Vraska down to 1. Unless they suit it up. If they suit it up and kill Vraska, then do I get to draw a card? Which is okay. Yeah. The other thing you find that, since you're playing a 5-color deck and you're playing a lot of stuff, you can fit just about every multicolored card you want in this, as long as it's 2 colors. So you need to pick the various different things that... we're going to play the Tome with Gilpack, just in case. So they have a counter in hand. But there's one specific card that you want to play that just stands out. Despark is a card that I really like. A lot of people like it, but the fact that you have to exile something as mana cost 4 or greater is really nice. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and block just because we don't want them to draw cards. So, kind of odd that they're trading. That's alright. So, do we want... Yeah, we're just going to run the Niv out. So, we get to draw a card, which is super nice. And we're going to draw a couple extra cards. So this is nice here. So we're gonna draw 5, and you can't uncheck these. So you're gonna choose one for each color pair. So you have to choose whether we want Mortify or Kaya's Wrath. Well, I think we want the Mortify. Unfortunately, they do get to see it, and we are gonna end up discarding here. And I suppose we could have shocked that into play and rampaged, but I'm thinking we're okay. Does the Outburst do much for us here? I don't think so. So discard the Outburst. We get to hold on to these. We do have a backup Niv. So they have to find a way to deal with this Niv-Mizzet. If they don't deal with the Niv-Mizzet here, yeah, just run away with it. So it's pretty good. A mono blue had a really bad draw, I feel, but that's what happens. So we'll see. Like I said, playing in best of 1. I don't know how it'll be in best of 3. Getting the chance to put in the sideboard cards that you have seems like you could be better suited when you're playing the Thief of Sanity. Excuse me, I have absolutely no idea how to sideboard for the deck. That's just something that I've been doing on the fly. We have a Clarion. They go first. We can't cast it. Do Tameo? I actually mulligan that. Yeah, this is fine. And yeah, it's fine. So it seems that you generally always want 3 lands, 1 piece of ramp if you can get it. Doesn't really matter if it's the Chromatic Lantern or the Firemine Vessel. Usually finding a second one. They're going to take the Teferi. Yeah. I get the feeling that a lot of people have no idea what we're actually up to here. So it's pretty good. The element of surprise. I'm sure once they feel like you have, oh, well, we've got other colored cards, then have some sort of an idea. But there's just not too many Niv-Mizzet Reborn decks floating around out there that make that big difference. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and take the time to do this. If they bounce it, it's fine. I don't really care. We just play it out again. We do have 2 lanterns, so... do we play... Yeah, I think we play Lantern first. And if it gets countered, it's okay. We shock Sacred Foundry into play. Yeah, so let's see if they've got the Thought Erasure. We need to find a way to deal with the Teferi, which is virtually impossible. Yeah. Sure, take the Mortify. Can't do anything about that. Ooh. So, our best draws are Planeswalkers. This thing can gain 3 life and draw a card, and they can keep bouncing it. So, yeah, that's fine. We want black, though. Not that it much matters, because we're tapping for every color of mana. So, we'll play Night of Autumn. I think we want to play Night of Autumn and give it counters. It's just better that way. We're going to counter it if they drew it, and they didn't. Wish that it said destroy target Planeswalker, but this threatens Teferi, so they have to bounce it. They can bounce it twice, I guess. And if that's a 3-mana spell... Ooh. It's like the perfect card. Esper's so brutal right now. It's so hard to play against. Yeah. Yep. So this is gonna get vetoed. I have no choice in that matter. And our opponent is just gonna probably beat us with Thief, cast our own cards. They don't have to cast anything of their own. So it does kind of stink. It really does stink. Our opponent drew very well. They milled casualties, Watery Grave. Yeah, I think we're dead. Give it one more go. Our opponent's drawing 2 cards plus one of our own. We don't play any counters, so I don't have to worry about that. But you do have to worry about them, like, hitting Tamiyo. I don't think the Niv ever gets taken. I guess it's 6/6 body, and you could take, like, Dovin's Veto. Yeah. Man, that stinks. We'll see. So they just need to play something. Yeah, now they're just bouncing things to draw extra cards. No point to keep Teferi going up there, I think. So, oh well. What you got? What you got? Nothing. Yeah, we're just gonna. No point in keeping playing. Probably played that for a turn or two longer than I should have, but it's okay. So we'll see. See if we got. Super happy that the first game went as well as it did. As a harder time against mono red and mono white. So you're playing an all shock land mana base. So unfortunately, you're taking, I don't know, an average of 4 to 6, I think, from yourself every game. This Gateway Plaza is going to seem awkward, I think, but we'll keep it. We go first, so we can Temple Garden. Gateway Plaza on our first play should be Night of Autumn, so it'll kind of look like we're a Celestia deck of some sort. Ooh, Arcanist. I don't like that. We're probably just dead. We're going to shock that into play. And some counters. Hopefully, I mean, this is, it's a feather deck. Yeah. So, we can kill feather here. I think we do. This is very relevant here, talking about the fact that you take an average of 2 to 4 from your own lands, or 4 to 6 from your own lands every game. We've already taken 4. They haven't dealt anything to us. It just happens to be the standard, or it was the standard, I should say, in most of the older formats where standard had shock lands into it. You just tended to take a lot of damage. We're going to force them to play a spell. Yep, that's fine. So they have to get 2 to get into Vraska. So, okay with that. Vindicator. We're just going to plus. I don't really care a whole ton. We're just trying to get their hand empty. I think we're going to just do this and play a Firemine Vessel. So this forces them to either pump or have to all attack Vraska. So, or just play an Aurelia. I guess that works too. So blue, green, red, white. So we can actually cast Niv. So yeah, green, white, blue, red. Gateway Plaza makes black. So hopefully Niv next turn will come down, save the day, stop Aurelia, and then we can hopefully follow up Niv with a Hydrate Crisis and find the pieces that we need after that. Yeah, you want to attack me for 8, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. That seems fine. Alright. So Niv would probably die to Vindicator because they have Defiant Strike in there. Yeah. It's alright. Let's see what we get. Okay. We can actually shock this in. Oh, we don't have to shock this in. So, yep. I think we're okay here because we get to Justice Strike just with a Firemind Vessel, because it does add 2 mana of different colors. So it's another reason to think about the fact that you need to play that. Yeah, it should choose the Vindicator here. So, and they're gonna probably, my guess would be go all in on the Vindicator. So, yeah, keep the Aurelia back, that's fine. What does this thing give it? Draw a card. Sure. Yeah, probably didn't want to do that. So we're just gonna deal with that now. So it'll exile that. We'll block this here. So think about that. You're gonna remember that like it's as it resolves too. So that means to make for a very big difference. So casualties. Ooh. Oath doesn't kill anything. Casualties of War does. So, creature land. Yeah. Destroy target land, destroy target creature. We're going to kill the Aurelia and get a Foundry and retreat. Kill the Sacred Foundry. We don't have anything. We need to try to not die here. So if they cast something on Feather, we're blocking. But I don't know if they really will here, so that's good. Let's play a temp. Yeah, I think our opponent realized they can't come back for that. So they did get to see that we have Teferi and Oath of Kaya. So Oath gains us a little bit of life. Any little point of damage is pretty good. So hopefully somebody out there decides that they'll take this, and like I said, this isn't mine. There's some cards in here that I really like to have played. Some stuff that I didn't necessarily think would be really good in the deck. I did not realize, like, Casualties of War being double black, double green seems very awkward at first when you first look at it, but then you realize that it's not. Another thing to think about that goes pretty well, I believe, with the Time Wipe is Azor. So the problem being that it costs so much. It's not a sorcery that you can cast off of something like Teferi. But the fact that it does give you another big body, it's a 6/6, just like Niv-Mizzet is. So it does block, but it also draws a bunch of cards, which works well with some of the other cards in the deck. It works well with the Jace, giving you some extra stuff, some extra cards to cast. They're probably always going to be multicolored spells, so Tome of the Guild Pack, just run into one. It's pretty good too. I also do forget a lot that Tome does add one of any color, so that does help too. The Warrant Warden's okay. Haven't been too terribly impressed with it, but it's done some job. It's kind of nice going Teferi, end of your turn, make a Sphinx, and then slamming down the Tamiyo, buy back the Warden, or if you already have the Tamiyo on the board, just buy back the Warden and cast it again for another 4/4. So there's a lot to. I like deck. Hopefully, going to be playing it soon. Hint, hint. More than likely tomorrow night. So check out Liberty Coins MTG, and hopefully we do pretty well with this. Playing a little bit different iteration in paper because I'm splitting some cards. I'm lending some cards to a friend who wanted to play another deck, and unfortunately I'm not able to play the full 4 Thief in the side. But I don't know if that really wouldn't much matter a whole lot. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and you'll come back, check it out again some other time. I appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.